CJ the Smart Guy with you, and I'm with two really great guests today. They came from both Houston tour as well as to Miami. They're my old college roommates, so both Steffen Marshall and Gerald Brown. Appreciate y'all for coming on. First, I would like to ask, how was your Houston experience as well as the Miami experience when we were on tour? So I'll let y'all talk about your experiences.
Let me start it off because it was crazy. First of all, I missed my first flight, so I had to buy another ticket.
Man. I remember.
Which was crazy, but after we finally landed in Florida, I mean, I really enjoyed it. Y'all don't know this, but I lived in Florida before.
Okay.
So coming back to Florida, it was a whole different atmosphere. Like being able to just be with my boys, obviously be with y'all, be able to enjoy the Black Bitcoin billionaires and all the events that they threw. I definitely enjoyed myself. So
same. It was my first visit though. It was my first visit. I definitely enjoyed Miami. I'm going back. Absolutely. I'm making that trip again. Like you said, the Bitcoin billionaires, the events were wonderful. I met a lot of interesting people, had great conversations. Miami is a different place. I can tell you, even for a person who came and transplanted myself into Houston, and I love Houston, but Miami got its own thing going on over there. But yeah, like I said, it was awesome. It was magnificent.
Yeah, for sure. So for y'all that don't know, we all graduated from the illustrious Texas Southern University.
That part.
In Houston, Texas. So if you haven't, gone to a HBCU, you're probably missing out because, we were able to live like ourselves while still becoming great. And with that greatness in mind, like what are some of the things that you guys have been up to since college?
Well, since my undergrad.
Yeah, since undergrad, yeah.
I went and got my master's, still science-based. Following that, I worked for a healthcare company. Then I worked as an environmental scientist for about a year. I started doing the adjunct thing, and now I've landed myself actually teaching high school and being a head coach.
Okay, how you liking that, teaching high school and a head coach?
It's crazy. It's really ironic because my mama was a teacher, and I always said I would never teach high school. I said I would never do it, and I actually liked being an adjunct, but there were certain things that I didn't like about it. Overall, I enjoyed it, but I wanted to have that. I wanted to feel more like I was doing something, and at the school that I'm at, and the students that I work with, who aren't as privileged as a lot of other students that might be around HISD. I definitely get that fulfillment. Yeah. And like I said, I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of a love-hate situation, especially after COVID.
Yeah.
It's actually been rough, but at the end of the day, I truly do enjoy it. I battle with myself because I'll be like, I think I want to go back into the environmental field, now that things are kind of changing. But at the same time, you get that connection in those bonds, and you kind of have a love for those kids, and you get to know their families, and it's you end up becoming a part of their life.
Yeah, big hats off to you because I know I didn't have
it's hard out here.
Right? Yeah, I have no black high school teachers or anything like that. So big shout outs to you. How about you, G? How's
man? I gotta salute my guy because he's the one that got me back in Houston. Of course, after graduating from TSU. Big shout out to TSU again. To my T5 brother. After that, I decided that I was going to go to school to teach higher education.
Okay.
Now, when I came back down to Houston, thanks to my guy right here, he got me a job. And I did it for a little bit, but now I'm in a new field where I'm working at a local community college in Houston, and it fulfills me. So I'm an academic advisor now, so I'm enjoying the position I'm in right now.
Big congrats. Yeah. And you got your master's as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Man, I got to give a quick shout out to Prairie View A&M University. Because they took care of me when I was down there. So
now you switching teams on us. We ain't even got halfway through the interview. Well, we 4 minutes in.
I got to give a shout out. But watch this, man. I don't want to be divisive. I got to shout out all black HBCUs in the state of Texas. That's what it's about, man. It's about unity,
Yeah, this family, we, as brothers, we always represent in public, but, behind closed doors, TSU, we got to, let PV know who it is. But shout outs to PV because, I know, earlier, we had given out a scholarship to PV.
Yeah, right.
We did a whole bunch of
events,
events for Sandra Bland because that really affected us. The HBCU family, we all one big family, regardless of TSU being better than all the other ones. We still represent as a family because colleges were made for us by us before we were even allowed to go to a PWI, predominantly white institution. So. Big shout outs to all three of us for sure, Matt. Yeah, so you had mentioned COVID. what were some of the effects of COVID and the students that you've realized? Because I'm not in the school system anymore. Like me getting my CPA, I'm like in a completely different world. I'm not even like involved with young people anymore. So how was COVID had an effect on the younger people?
Well, dealing with my population of students, there are some shortcomings in certain areas already, just living the life that they live. But second to that, I think COVID had a real big psychological and mental effect on the students. A lot of my students were sixth graders or seventh graders, and now they're ninth graders all of a sudden. They missed out on middle school. And that's a very, very important part for student, development. And, it's, you hear that in theory and in concepts, but when you actually see it, you realize that it's a problem. And I think actually a lot of these students are going to have some issues that might drag on for a little bit. I mean, we're doing our best as teachers always to tackle it because you want to help. It's kind of like you're a helper to the parent at the end of the day because they teach them at home and you're teaching them in the classroom. You spend a lot of time with those children. So you want to make sure that you try to instill the correct things. But like I said, I believe it had a lot of social and psychological effects on them.
Yeah, I can imagine because if I was in high school and COVID had happened, I don't think I would have learned too much from a virtual perspective.
That's a whole nother story. I can't even dive into that.
No, I will. Let's dive into that. So I think that's the second part of it, right? A lot of these students, whether, you deal with high school students, I deal with a lot of these college students, but what's going on is you're seeing a change in the way that we conduct business, all these different virtual activities that we're having. You're seeing individuals, our youth, not knowing how to really socialize, not really knowing how to ask the right questions. They're getting frustrated with the things that they do online.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's amazing. But as we're kind of pushing through, so big shout out to my educators out here, even you, Charles, because you educate to some degree. Trust me,
he educating online. He educating adults. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that.
So that's just some of the challenges that we're dealing with now. Virtually anyway, like just dealing with these students, trying to find a way to connect with them.
Yeah, I could just imagine if I was in college and it was like complete lockdown and shutdown, I don't think I'd have survived because I'd have been ready to party. And if you party during COVID, you was considered like the worst of the worst because you're going to get grandmas killed and all types of stuff. So I feel very bad for any of the college students who are, who went to college during COVID and was like basically ostracized for having a normal college life.
The COVID kids.
Can I give a quick shout out to DJ Webster, who is at Blinn College, who graduates December 22. Shout out to you, man. Black excellence, man. Black excellence.
There you go. Got to keep it in the family. I'm the biggest. So for y'all don't know, I'm the oldest of four. I got, 2 younger brothers and then a youngest sister. And I think you got like a similar type of situation. So how's it feel to be the oldest?
Man, it's cool, bro, because basically, they watch everything that I do and, you basically set that standard. So that's something that I'm very, very proud of. And yeah. What about you? I know you're not the oldest, but
no, I'm the middle child. I have a younger sister, 2 years younger than me, and then an older brother. And with him and his family, I got some nephews, to look after.
Uncle Steph.
But, yeah, that part. Middle child get all the work. But
right. As oldest they get all the work.
Nah, look, y'all the first to come, so they make their mistakes with y'all. But for the second one, they gonna make sure everything right. So they gonna be on you. The stuff that I messed up with him, nah, you're not gonna make that mistake.
I could accept that. I signed off with that for sure. So you guys now you're teacher in high school, you got advisor in college. So what are some things that you guys are doing to keep your mental sanity? Because I'm sure that being a teacher can be difficult dealing with high school kids or college kids. What are some things that you guys do to keep yourself in good spirits? Because there's lots of people out there that are going through lots of things, and as leaders in this community, like what are things that you guys do from a healthy perspective that keeps you going?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So to answer your question, for me, the important thing is work-life balance. Because our workload has definitely rose a lot. Now it's important to make sure that you understand how to relax your mind. Sleep is very important. I don't think enough people understand that because you're dealing with everything that's going on. Everything's just updating and you have to adjust, right? So now I think for me, having a certain routine, working out. That's something that I've been getting into. I've been doing yoga, y'all.
There you go. There you
I've been
go.
doing yoga.
Hey, yoga's
Not the
nice.
downward dog.
Y'all, man, y'all gotta find these healthy mediums, because if you don't find something to do that's gonna take your mind off of certain things and have that sort of like
That outlet.
tranquilness. Yeah, that outlet, man. So that would be my answer. But what you got?
Definitely, I can say when I was dealing with college students, it was a lot different from dealing with high school students. I like I said, it's a love-hate relationship, but it was definitely easier to deal with college students and I having to deal with behaviors. But high school students, yeah, that gets wild. Sometimes the parents too. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it be the parents too. You have coworkers, you have a lot of things that are there, and especially being a male in an area like that, when you have a lot of things going on, there are expectations of you to do certain things in certain circumstances, and you just gotta be on top of that. But I say actually, it's kind of funny. I feel like after some time of me having routines and doing a lot of things, I feel like I kind of lost in figuring out what things I truly enjoy. Like, what do I like to do? And you can say that when you have relationships and you have all these connections with people and you do different things. And I had to come back to figure out what I like to do. And actually what I did was, instead of just trying random different things, I looked at like, what did I do as a child that made me happy? What were some of the things that really brought me joy as a kid? And I started there. Maybe it doesn't bring me that same joy as I did back then, but it was a good start point, and I kind of moved up from there. And it's crazy. Like I said, I had to relearn the things that relax me, relearn the things that actually bring me joy at my current age now, because, we've all grown and changed. I think it's something important that everybody has to do. I think it's something that we don't really think about. You just say, oh, I like to do this, or maybe you used to do this with this person, and you just automatically go and do it. But you have to take time by yourself to really figure out what are the things that you truly enjoy. And also, what are your goals? How can you merge those two things together to benefit yourself and, be progressive and matriculate?
For sure.
Yeah, I agree, because that's how I started doing what I'm doing. So my mom is a teacher. And so like, people thought I was just really smart. It wasn't all that. I just learned from my mom. She was a teacher. So I basically had the cheat code to getting good grades off the top. But I learned to teach and love teaching from my mom. And I just was good in numbers. It wasn't like I liked numbers or nothing like that. But I love the hustle. So I combined hustle, being good with numbers, and teaching. And I was like, you know what? Let me be a CPA who teaches on the internet, because I can't deal with any high school kids. College kids is just... nah, it's too much. So I was like, let me just, set up this internet screen and teach like this. And my focus is mostly on cryptocurrency and, the evolution of money and where things are going versus a curriculum. Because high school and even college, like the curriculums that they gave us, I felt like the world was already more advanced than what I was given. So I was like, let me just learn it, catch up to where the rest of the world is at, and then deliver that to the people. And slowly but surely, as you start creating content, people come. So that's a great way. Multiple streams of income too. That's
the goal right there.
That's always nice.
We're trying to get that not reciprocal.
Residual.
Yeah. It was on the tip of my tongue.
We're gonna get him in some more classes. No, I actually want to talk about something, man, because this has been my rebirth year. I'm just putting my age out there. I'm 33, right? And I feel like, I don't know if y'all have heard this before, but Jesus died at 33. Not comparing myself to Jesus, but Nipsey died at 33. I feel like 33 is just such a rebirth year. So for me, it's been getting rid of a lot of the old habits and making room for the new habits.
That part.
So I've been studying you. I've been watching you, seeing the things that you've been doing. It's just so much for me to learn. And for me to share this right now, it's not so much that you have to go buy Bitcoin right now. You can start off as Satoshis and make your way up. And I say that to say this. It doesn't matter what you want to do in life, whether it's lose some weight, whether what goal you have, start simply, like start somewhere simple and move forward. And I've been on that roller coaster this entire year. So,
right. And for those that don't know what Satoshis are, so just like there's 100 pennies to $1, there's 100 million Satoshis to a Bitcoin. So instead of purchasing like a whole Bitcoin for $30,000, you could buy pieces of the Bitcoin, which are Satoshis. And so, one of the things that the Black Bitcoin billionaires is suggesting or striving people to do is to own at least 1 million Satoshis for each member of your family so that we can create generational wealth. Because most people don't know, but like there were 44 countries that just met in El Salvador that are talking about how to topple off the dollar. This just happened. So like the world is all of a sudden saying, hey, the US dollar has been in control for the last 50 years, but we're going to create a new standard, and that standard is the Bitcoin standard. And so that's what me, Naja Roberts are doing. We're just going from city to city, educating our communities. Like we going dead up in the hood to teach people about what's going on. Because if we don't teach us, who will?
We're gonna be behind on the curve.
Exactly that.
And I see a lot of results of that already, and we don't need no more of that.
No, we don't need no, especially financially, because you know, when we look at this country and how like it was formed, yeah, the Constitution was great, but we weren't a part of that Constitution. We weren't part of that original vision. Matter of fact, like that was the greatest wealth transfer like in history, but we were the wealth transferred.
Right.
Which like that's not cool. Like our ancestors were the wealth because we were sold. Well, with Bitcoin, this is now the newest wealth transfer since that original 400 years ago that we've had. And so we're looking at it as like, wow, there's no barriers to entry. Meaning all you got to do is go into the Black Wall Street wallet. All you got to do is go on Cash App, buy it, move it to your cold wallet, and you essentially become your own bank versus, you know, saving the US dollar, getting hit by inflation. Like what's gas at now? Like
too much.
Like gas like $4 a gallon. It's $4 a gallon. Like, you know, so, you know, when you buy Bitcoin, it's not just that the Bitcoin is an investment. We're looking at it as an asset, no difference than land, no difference than real estate or your own business, anything like that. Because with Bitcoin, it's a digital asset that over time, as more and more people use it, the value is going to go up because there's only 21 million to ever be created. Think about it. There's like 45 million millionaires in the world. There's only 21 million Bitcoins. So even just owning half a Bitcoin will eventually get you at the status of being
a
millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
So
that bank looking nice.
That bank looking real nice. You just buy it, hold it, never sell it. You know, it's your savings account. I look at Bitcoin as my savings account. I'm not trying to flip or nothing like that because that's too much.
And definitely, I gotta say shout out to you too, because I remember some years ago when Charles was first trying to tell me about electronic currencies, and I was like, "All right, bro, I hear you, fam. But I'm finna go to work." You know what I'm saying? I hear you, but you know, he was motivated and he stuck with it, and he's been growing. And I've just seen the growth, especially over the past year and a half. And it will not always, looking so hot. So, like the growth that I've seen, and you just, speaking as, one of my best friends, like, it's great, man. And I want to say congratulations to you, bro.
Thank you.
On that, because, it's been great, man.
Well, that's all of us.
I want to take it back for a second. Let's go back to 2012. Can we do that?
Let's take it back. Okay. 10 years. That's a decade, bro. That's a decade.
That's a decade, and I didn't even mean to say that. 10 years ago.
Right.
Tell y'all
that's when you graduated.
So I remember us kicking it. We were all young, and we watched this movie called Dope. Yeah. Who knew? Who knew that watching that? They talk about Bitcoin, and I hate to admit this on camera, but I feel like we dropped the ball. Y'all don't know this. I bought Bitcoin when it first came out, but I did not give it enough money. I only gave it like
$25.
Yeah. If I would have just simply dropped $50.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. I think about that every day.
This was like I think it was like 2016, 2017. We watched that movie Dope.
Yeah.
And we was broke. Like we was broke.
Oh, yeah.
So like I had heard about it. And I saw like on Coinbase, like they gave you $25 free. I really wasn't thinking about the Bitcoin. I was really thinking about, man, I need this $25 free real quick. And so like I tried to withdraw it and they wouldn't let me. They said you got to hold it for a certain amount of time. So I completely deleted the app. Like I just was like, hey, I can't get my 25. Who cares about this? Right, and then you called me like maybe a year or two later. And you was like, hey, bro, we're rich. I was like, we rich? What you mean we rich? And I re-download the Coinbase app. I check it out, and it was like $800 or something like that from a free $25. And I took that out so cool. I paid my rent, and then I was like, what is Bitcoin really about? And that's when I started really studying it, because I was like, you don't turn $25 free into $800 some and not have like any background. And so that's when I started learning from like Nipsey as well as Dr. Boyce Watkins. They were pointing me a direction, so I started studying it. And I've been buying from all the way up from the 17,000 all the way down to 4,000 and all the way up to 69 and down to 30. So the way we look at it as one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin because it's a limited 21 million to ever be created. So like I said, you just have one, you solidifying yourself in the future.
And the marathon continues.
Part.
Yeah, we're not saying that just to stop. We letting y'all know, like, pay attention to this man because he got great information for y'all. So I want to give you a big shout out, bro.
Appreciate
I can't wait
that.
till you do this tour. I'm gonna be paying attention.
Oh yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna stop through.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're going to be in Houston the first week of June. We'll be in Dallas as well. So you guys got to make sure you check that out. You can go to the DFR, meaning like the Digital Financial Revolution Tour.com. So the DFRtour.com. You can go to schedule 2022. Check out, the city that's coming near you. I really want to get like all of our people, like everybody from college that I used to rock with us. I want everybody to just come out. I want it to be a really big event because, I love us. Like, I just want to make sure that all of us win. It's not just about
3Kingz forever.
that part.
Oh
you feel
yeah,
me?
3Kingz. You definitely gotta let me know when we're going back to Miami. That was a move.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to be on South Beach, Miami Beach. That's going to be cool. Speaking of Nipsey, though, like, I know back in the day, I used to play like a lot of Nipsey, Kendrick Lamar, YG, and all of that. Like, have y'all heard the new Kendrick Lamar album, or at least like one song? Like,
It's dope.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard just a little something, but
Little something.
We're gonna be jamming the rest of the way on the way back. I already know.
Oh yeah, it's
yeah.
dope. I'm talking about he goes through some serious stuff, y'all. He talks about toxicity, he talks about vulnerability. I'm talking about, I ain't gonna spoil it for the crowd, but y'all definitely gotta tune in, tap in, see what Kendrick talking about, because man, look.
Yeah. I feel like it was a therapy session. So you had mentioned some healthy things, like you had did yoga. I mean, I've done power yoga where you like in 105 degree, like heat.
Hot yoga.
Whew, drink your water. But but yeah, so I've done some therapy as well, working with a therapist, just identifying certain traumas like from your childhood that make you like act in certain ways when you're older, like they call triggers. You don't realize it until you connect those dots and you're like, oh, that's why I'm acting like that. And then you can begin to like, make those corrections that you want to correct. Sometimes it's not always about correcting it. Sometimes it's about like identifying those triggers so you're aware of it.
Identifying, trying to heal from it.
Yeah.
Absolutely that, man. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
That's what I like, man. Like people that can definitely dive into that. I know I like listening to J. Cole, K-Dot. I like y'all notice, like, and I hate to turn this into like a Breakfast Club sort of thing, but like it's a lot of mumble rap these days.
Yeah.
So when you hear content, we got to embrace that and give them their flowers. So I just want to share that part too, bro. Like,
Right.
If you know better, then do better.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that know better. They're successful themselves, but then they're out there talking, stuff that's negative to the communities, and that really hurts people. So I think some of the kids that you get from high school, they're just trying to quote unquote keep up with the culture. But if that culture is self-destructive, then where does that leave them?
Pay attention, y'all. Y'all see what's going on in these streets. A lot of these rappers are making bad decisions, and you're seeing it. As you scroll down, you're seeing it. So make the right decision, be the change. That's what I'm about.
Real, but devil's advocate, where do you draw that line? Where do you say, hey, this is just fun and this is just live music. This is just what I jam. And where you draw the line and say, no, this is hurting other people. Where does that line actually get drawn?
I think everybody's line is a different spot,
Well, then how can we draw that line for everybody? That's where the question comes.
When do you start imitating art? Like, I think everybody has a different different line. Like, because if you listen to a song, so say if you listen to a song, you start to rap it yourself. Right. When you're talking, you speaking that stuff into existence.
I mean, that's the first imitation. That's what we always do when we like something that we hear, even like you say, even if it's not words, I'm saying? Even if it's not a lyricist, which I love a lyricist, but I got my stuff that's just sound. I like certain sounds too.
Real.
That onomatopoeia gets you sometimes.
Yeah, I know you be playing the piano, man. Where you learn to play the piano?
Actually, I first started because my pop used to play by ear, and my dad played bass guitar, and he did a little keyboard too in the church. I had some more famous jazz musician relatives too that he worked with back in the day, and I kind of got that from him. My mom also too. They encouraged all of my siblings to, you know, be musically inclined. So, you know, and that's something when I have a family, you know, I want my children to be musically inclined. I was in orchestra. Actually, a lot of things people don't know is I actually got an orchestra scholarship to TSU besides track. I only did it for like a year or two, but I did it a lot during my youth. And it was something out of the ordinary for, you know, most black kids. You know, they weren't listening to classical music or playing in the orchestra. And at first, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of like, but it was the people that I was around at the school I was at who was just like, it don't matter, just give it a try, give it a shot. And I'm glad I did, because it was something that I truly enjoyed. There were some moments that I had as a child that I felt like were truly beautiful, and I would love for my students, and not just my students, but also my children, to be able to have those moments, have those experiences outside the box. Brother, ma'am, if you want to go play tennis, if you want to go do ballet, if you want to do volleyball, whatever you want to like be, play hockey, do whatever you want to do, because you might be extremely talented at it. You never know if you don't take a shot.
Yeah. That's something else I want to talk about. I think a lot of people put black kids in a box where it's like all we can do is hoop and play football and rap. No, like, man, it feels good to hear that, bro. Like, and I love that you do that. Like, that's something I want to instill in my future children. You know, I want them to be able to play music too. I don't know if they're gonna play the piano, but you never know. You know, we're trying to find something.
Yeah, because it's cool. Because like, I know all three of us played sports in high school as well as in college, but like, as grown men, we don't really play tackle football. Nah. Like, we don't really just group together and play baseball.
No, when I told you I was 33, I ain't trying to break nothing.
Yeah, or even like track. Like, we don't just go out there and say, hey, I beat you running a mile or something like that.
No, I challenge my athletes. You do. My athletes can come get the smoke. I'm top. Don't get rolled by this old man.
But I think just like having lifetime healthy events, like, because you can play the piano to you like 100 till you out of here. You can't play football, you know, after a certain age. So I think just developing those skills, those you know, those talents, you know, working on it, something that you can use when you're like old and, you know, out of here. I think that's really important. I wish I would have learned some of that stuff when I was younger. But I'd wanted to learn the salsa dancing, so you know, that's all right.
I ain't mad at that.
That's something cool. I know y'all. I didn't do that at all in college.
No, Charles came back.
I came back.
I don't even imitate him at all. I don't even do it like that. But nah, Charles be doing his thing, y'all.
For sure.
I remember, because he told me, he was like, when he first came back to Houston, like some years back, he was just like, hey, yeah, you got to come to my salsa class.
Dance now.
I was like, bro, get out of here. You ain't teaching no salsa class. Man, get at, bruh, I can't even say it on here. But I went and I actually had a good time. And that was another stepping out of the box. I felt uncomfortable. I ain't gonna lie, when I first got in there, I felt uncomfortable. I really didn't, know how to dance that way. I kind of wanted to be off-putting, standoffish. But, once I let down my guard and allowed myself, it was great. I had a fun time.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's my challenge, man. I'm gonna tell y'all something. If you haven't done this yet, 2022 is the year to get comfortable with being uncomfortable in all of your endeavors. It don't matter what you want to do. Don't let nobody tell you can't do nothing. You can do whatever you want to do. Find a goal, find something you like, get good at it, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Just try something. So that's something I want to share with the people real quick.
That part. When's the last time you did something for the first time?
Come on, man.
Oh, yeah. Look, no, here's a real question. Everybody should ask themselves this. When was the last time you really challenged yourself? And when I say challenge yourself, I mean do something that you believe you didn't actually have the ability to do or complete. Not something that I know I can do. I just got to be diligent. I just got to stick at it. I got to stick to it. But something that you say, hey, I don't actually think that I can do this. Let me attempt to do something that I don't believe I can do. Because like I said, if you're a 9-to-5 person like me, you can get used to that routine and just doing what you do to get these small steps. But you also have to remember that you have to challenge yourself, whether that's working on your other side business or whatever that may be. You have to continue to push forward.
100.
Yeah, because learning salsa, the first 6 months, man, it was horrible. I ain't got no rhythm naturally. Like I had to work every single day. Man, it was bad, but I stuck to it. And then it started working. Big shout outs to Mike Garland out in Dallas Fort Worth. He showed me all the different moves. He made sure that he showed me individually everything. He's been labeled as like one of the greatest dancers of all time, especially for his age group. He's won many events. So shout outs to Mike Garland for sure. Yeah. So from a 22 2022 perspective, after being graduated for almost a decade, what would you tell your younger self today?
That's a great question.
I had to, I had to.
That's a great question. You know what? I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna spill it. I would say stop breaking these women's hearts. Stop doing drugs. Stop that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that.
Here we go.
I'm gonna be real. Because I think, and I can speak to the younger version of myself.
Right.
What you think is everything, or which is so much fun, I would have done so much better just investing in myself.
Using your time wisely.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't gonna say no names, but my car got broke. Somebody threw joking on me. All the damage I've been through, man. I ain't trying to go through that. You don't, and I didn't have to go through that.
Yeah, I got the key card.
But, you know, it comes with wisdom. And again, this is rebirth year, so you know, I've been trying to make sure my car don't get smashed into.
That part,
That's all.
How about you? If you could tell 10-year younger Steffen something, what would you tell him?
Not necessarily breaking hearts, something along those lines, to focus more on what your goals are, but also to take more chances and to not be afraid. I recognize that I made excuses then, but I couldn't recognize that the truth is that I was afraid of failing in situations that I probably wouldn't even fail. But I think I put so much pressure on myself to just, I had to do it, and I had to do it right the first time, that I talked myself out of taking certain chances and opportunities when it was sitting right there in front of me. And it's crazy how you really think you're being logical when you come up with all these excuses that might make a little bit of sense, but all you need is an easy way out. And, you know, I think not all the time, but in a couple of instances, I took an easy way out where I should have just stayed and took the harder route. So in essence, I would say that, you know, be bold, be daring, and I probably would take a couple more chances. I mean, also, it's never too late. Every day.
Yeah. Be bold and be daring.
There you go.
Bold and be daring. Yes.
To trademark that if it's not trademarked. Be bold and be daring. Like, feel me, make some money off of that.
Right.
If there was one thing I could have changed, it would have not been to not delete my Twitter. So like, and for y'all that don't know, like y'all know me as CJtheSmartGuy now, but back in the day I had a different Twitter name, which we're not going to talk about. But I had over 50,000 Twitter followers. I had some major people following me. And whenever I had an event, people would just like come through. Like they fly.
Had people flying, had people flying in.
But I started working in corporate America. And the first week I was there, I had a lawyer that worked for the company hit me up. It was like, hey, we found your Twitter. And immediately I was just like, oh. She's like, I think it's time you delete that. And I wound up deleting it. And now I'm like trying to grow my following again. I'm like, man, 50,000 from back in the day still sounds like a lot. And it is a lot. So I would have never deleted that. And I would have seen the worth that I created and not just tossed it away for a paycheck, because now that I'm out from that company, like, I wish I'd have had that 50,000.
Well, who knew social media would be monetized in the way that it has been? Like, not that it wasn't monetized then, but you're seeing people really thrive off of, you know, TikTok videos. I mean, like Coy Leroy, she got her whole like career going based off of her TikToks and the music that she plays. She has that young following. So if you would have kept your Twitter and things like that, I think, you'd have had a big audience. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
But
now, see, like social media is evolving, because so when the internet first started, it was Web 1, meaning all you did was just read the information that was on the computer. When we were in college, it was Web 2, because now we can interact with different people. That's what social media is. Now we're entering the world of Web 3, where now they're adding a monetary value into the Web 2, like into the internet, which is essentially Web 3, and it's more decentralized with how it works. And so if you thought where we were at with social media back then was big, now we're about to get paid directly through your social media for your likes, your comments, and things of that nature. So there's going to be people who make a lot of money just off of simply being on social media, not even using it as a bridge to get the money. The social media itself will be the money. But I think we're at the very, very beginning stages of that, but it's already here.
Virtual coin is the new currency, y'all. Pay attention.
That part.
I know some of y'all play NBA 2K. That virtual coin is coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
For sure. So if there was one more thing that y'all would like to say to the crowd, what would that be? I'm gonna give y'all them hard questions, you know what I mean?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
If I had to say one thing to the crowd, it would be and it's one of my favorite quotes. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Nobody. Not even me. Shout out to Will Smith. I know he's in a little bit of trouble, but shout out to Will Smith because honestly, I gotta give him his flowers. Man, y'all know I'm from Philly. Shout out to Pennsylvania and everything.
There you go,
man. Without his guidance, and I know everybody wants to cancel him, but without his guidance, I wouldn't be the man I am today. So shout out to Will Smith right now. And stay in school. Stay in school. It's cool to be educated. Don't let nobody tell you different. I know a lot of people think it's cool to be in the streets and do certain things, and everybody has their own situation, but I'll say this. The best thing that I've ever done in my life was stay focused. I stayed in school and I was able to reap the benefits from that. So that's what I want to share with people.
Bet.
What is the last thing I want to say?
You gotta make sure you put all those big words in there.
I gotta think about it because
it's important.
I think about
because it's gonna be a snippet, like you know what I mean. Like this one little part that you're gonna put, it's gonna get out there as a snippet, so it's gonna represent you. No pressure.
Every day is not promised, so act like it. There we go.
That part, short and simple.
Every day is not promised, so act like it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna just say stack G's, stack sats, meaning stack your US dollars, as well as stack your Satoshis, diversify everything, your portfolio, meaning what you have, your incomes, because recessions come, Hurricane Harveys come, like instances happen, cities go out, lots of problems happen. But when you diversify everything, at least if you lose like 50% of your business, you still got 50% there. If you just have one job and it goes away, you don't have an income. If you have everything in the US dollar and it topples off, you ain't got nothing. So diversify everything. Stack G's, stack sats. CJ the Smart Guy. Appreciate the rest of the 3Kingz for coming on.
Hey.
Shout outs to TSU. Man, 10 years ago, y'all.
A decade.
That's crazy. and the best is yet to come.
That part.
Yeah.
We out.